Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
As they drag you by your feet, but the hangman isn't hanging, and they put you on the street. Yeah, you go back, Jack, do it again. Wheel turning round and round, you go back.
Hold on, I haven't even sat in my chair right yet.
Trouble with that today too. I had to adjust it a little bit.
How are you doing, Lacy?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, always good to see you.
You too.
We were just talking, like last week.
Yeah, like we do.
We had a busy segment last week.
Oh my gosh, it was like bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Good luck keeping up.
And we barely got to talk about that bum.
We barely got to talk about the Ocean Wave,
that
premier entertainment from 1924.
You just wait. Whenever time travel happens, there's gonna be a lot of people fast and forward just to hit me in the mouth. Just all these people from 100 years ago are just gonna say it's on sight, son. We're gonna wait for you, pal.
I thought you were gonna say people were gonna go back in time to ride this thing, and I was like, I don't know about that, CJ, but maybe.
I think that was the problem the first time. So how's everything been at the library?
It's been pretty good. We have a couple programs coming up that I wanted to highlight.
Please do.
Okay. Our newsletter is coming out later than expected. I'm sorry about that for everyone that looks forward to it. It will be out. But in the meantime, I wanted to let you know that we have two programs next Wednesday, October 2nd. One is at the Alton Square Library, the performance space upstairs. And that one is on American Gothic, the painting. And Grant Wood did that one, and Dee Kilgo is going to be talking about that from 6 to 7:30 next Wednesday.
She's good.
She's amazing. She's so knowledgeable. She's really funny. She tells about the context behind artwork. So, she'll talk about how something was made and the artist, but she also talks about what their influences were, what else was going on in that time period. So you actually understand why these paintings were being done the way that they were.
Right.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah, that's next Wednesday, October 2nd, 6 p.m., Alton Square Mall. And then the same night, we have the Haunted Hainer program going on. Yeah.
That's with Odyssey Tours,
That's with Alton Odyssey Tours,
Yeah.
yes. So that's from 7 to 9. It's going to start at the Genealogy and Local History Library. And I'm going to talk a little bit for like 15 or 20 minutes or until they drag me off the stage because I love talking about the history of the library. I'm going to talk about the history of Hainer from the 1850s to the present.
Oh, really cool.
Just brief, but about how it started.
The best of.
Best of, yeah, the highlights for the last 100 and however many years. But so I'm going to talk about that really quickly. And then I think Marlene Lewis is going to talk about, from Alton Odyssey Tours, is going to talk about some of the other history of like why Alton is known as the most haunted small town in America. And then we're going to have time for people to go around. Oh, and the Alton Odyssey Tours is going to talk a little bit about just like ghosts one-on-one is what it,
that's
what
cool.
it was. Like, what do you do when you go ghost hunting? And then people will have a chance.
What do you do if you encounter a ghost?
What do you do if you encounter a ghost?
Hey, howdy, half the road's yours. Make them feel at home.
Yeah, right? Well, actually, Marlene and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago because we did a little bit of a walkthrough, and I asked her about that because she'd been saying, like if you ever encounter anything, you just make sure that you yourself are like grounded and you feel confident and like nothing's gonna hurt you.
I wouldn't do good in ghosts.
Yeah, I'm more of a frantic kind of person. But,
I am an all flight, no fight type of guy, Lacy.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about that. So she's going to do a great job. Caleb Lewis, Diana Kay. I think all of them are going to be there.
What time does that start again?
That is from 7 to 9 next Wednesday. And then we're going to do some hunting, some ghost hunting with the tools that they bring, both at the Genealogy Library and the Downtown Library. And people don't have to stay for that. If they just want to, learn about the library,
get the knowledge,
learn about ghosts, get the knowledge, and then leave before anything weird happens, then they can do that too. So it's whatever people are comfortable with.
Have you ever ghost hunted?
When we did the little walkthrough, I got to use the machine, the electronic magnet. It's like it's not EMT, EMG, whatever the machine is where you can check electromagnetic energy.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know nothing about ghost hunting. So what is that? Like, does it just tell like the electricity in the air? Like,
It tells a change in electromagnetic
that's wild.
energy.
How do people do?
forces.
Now, see, isn't that wild how someone can create devices for these things?
Yeah, and I'm sure that a lot of things, it's like it was invented for something else, and then
It just makes sense.
Yeah. So, the Alton Odyssey Tour people know a lot more about what that's
We don't have
called,
the
for
terminology
instance.
for you
Yes,
today.
No terminology.
It's
but
a
that's-
dreary Wednesday.
well, and if you come, you don't have to know anything either. 'cause
Yeah, that's the fun.
I don't know anything, and I'm going to learn.
Well, that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
You know, to really, and actually, what I think would be cool is just to go, and especially with you being downtown, who knows what you pick up?
Well, and that's the thing too. There's so much history in these buildings, even before they were what they are now. Like what used to be there. I think there might have been a saloon at the downtown library, not like as it is now, but a previous building. And I talk to my library building because even if there's nothing there, and who knows, there are just so many people that have like contributed over the years, and like what it stands for is so beautiful. So I just am kind of like, thanks for everything, everyone.
You're nice to the ghosts.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm one of those guys. Okay, have you ever had like I had this dream once where like all of a sudden, and I just watched Insidious, like the third one.
Oh,
those are pretty good, and
yeah.
I guess it's starting to get spooky season and all that. So I'm sitting there. I had this dream one time where a ghost was chasing me, but you know how in those dreams you always like run super slow.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're always gonna.
Yeah.
For some reason, I got like this ghost kicked my butt, and I mean just walloped me, and I was like the guy that has like lost a tooth, bleeding out of his eye, and like I will never forget screaming at that ghost in my dream, going, "Bring it on, we'll do it again," And I just think it's stuff like that. Like I would lose every bit of a paranormal hunting thing. I wouldn't be able to last because I'd instigate it, then get hurt big time. It's true.
Going against supernatural forces and like bring it.
That's what did in my dream. I was like, let's go, you son of a gun, and all that. And it didn't work well for me. I woke up in a very sweated sleep.
I don't watch horror movies.
You don't?
I cannot watch anything.
I can only
like
do it
that
if the
at
sun's
all.
out.
Yeah.
So seriously,
yes,
like when I say I'm watching Insidious, like in all those, I'm doing a thing where every time I get home from work, I watch at least some scary movie or horror movie because I do like them when I'm with people in a crowded area, but not whenever it's 7 o'clock at night and I'm alone with myself or my dog. Nico's a good dog, but he ain't stopping Michael Myers.
He's gonna save himself.
Yeah, he would too. So all that comes down the pipeline. What day?
Yes.
What days are those again?
Those are both Wednesday, October 2nd, so a week from today. And American Gothic is from 6 to 7:30 at the Alton Square Mall Performance Space, and then Haunted Hainer is from 7 to 9 starting at the Genealogy and Local History Library, and then going to the Downtown Library for the second part
They
of
said that new hurricane just hit Category 1 status.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Man, sorry that was just breaking across the
it's
wire.
been a rough year for Florida.
It's been, that whole Midwest Gulf.
Yeah, the
that's
whole Gulf.
brutal.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else wasn't brutal?
The band concert.
That's right. Oh, you're getting it now. Yes, the band concert. The first band gave its first concert on September the 19th, 100 years and 6 days ago.
Yes. At noon.
At noon.
Yes. Yeah.
In an hour and 26 minutes.
Get it down to the seconds. Yeah, I was really excited to work on this because as soon as I saw the headline that said Alton High School Band plays first concert, and I think that's, AHS band plays its first concert today. I was like, oh, this is what I'm writing about. There's no question
That's
this
so
week.
cool.
Yeah, because it's really nice to be able to write about something that's still meaningful for people today.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The origins of it. I mean, the Alton School District has such a strong music program, and we're very lucky to have such great people working on that now. So, yeah, getting to go back and see how it all started was really fun.
That is really cool. Well, and honestly, I mean, how did one can orchestrate a band whenever there wasn't a band before?
Well, okay, I know that Mary Josephine McGuire was the Alton supervisor of music in the schools, and she wanted to start a band. So the first person she hired, and from the way I've read it, and he's the one, we have a picture from the yearbook, from the 1924 yearbook. So he's the one pictured in the yearbook as the first director of the band. But I did a little bit more research on him because he only stayed for a couple of months. But he was a trombonist from the pit orchestra of the Hippodrome Movie and Vaudeville Theater. So I kind of think that they like convinced him to do this. I mean, he seemed to do it happily and do it well, but he was not a teacher that was already in the school district or that was hired for this position. He was a professional musician that was brought in to create a band. And then just a couple months later in June, B.L. Johnson was hired as a teacher and part of that as a music teacher, and then part of that was to create a band. So, yeah, they practiced for a couple months, and then their first concert was on September 19th.
Man, and you know what I think? Just you posting some of those pictures of the Tatler pages, you know how much differently those looked. And Helen Hammer had a heck of a track record on her. With what she had
Elocutionist,
she'll be famous far and wide. In a castle she will live.
Yes.
In splendor she will ride.
Yes.
Now, did she write that?
I don't think that they wrote their own. But somebody had to have written them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what being on the yearbook staff then was. You had to be a poet, so you could create these.
I wouldn't have lasted. I wouldn't have lasted. Yeah. I would have aired out everyone's dirty laundry.
To take your revenge.
Yeah. So the band directed by B.L. Johnson.
Yes.
35 members of this band. That's pretty. That's a pretty proficient group.
Yeah, especially since they had just started.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Was music instrumental back in the 1920s and all that around here? Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, music was really big, both as entertainment, as there were several music schools. And then all the times we've talked about like a band playing at this event or this event. So music was very much a part of life in Alton.
Did they just not have a band at the high school because no one had thought about it yet, or was that not a thing?
That's a good question. I think that they just needed to get organized.
Gotcha.
This is early enough in Alton High's history, which I mean we have yearbooks from 1905 on. So this Alton High had existed for 20 years just in yearbook form by then. And I don't remember when the new high school was built. So it could have had to do with expansion and stuff, because the first couple yearbooks are tiny and the graduating class would be a very small number of people. So it was growing and growing. And so I think this is probably around the time when they actually had enough students to form a band that would be impressive at pep rallies and other events.
That's right. And they wouldn't take away from the crowd. We can't put them in the band section.
Right. Like you clear out the bleachers to form the band. You don't want to do that.
So, it was a very well attended show?
It was very well attended. So the first official concert was a concert for their classmates during assembly period. So 35 members present for this, and the director, B.L. Johnson, played a cornet solo, and I looked up what a cornet is. It's kind of like a trumpet, but smaller and shorter, so it's a horn. And then student Helen Hammer, who you mentioned, gave several recitations.
What's that mean?
She stood up and gave a speech, like memorized something like a poem or a sonnet, something literary, and then presented it.
We are in a whole different ball game, aren't we? I mean, that used to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because we still do that, but it's not like, that's, a cherished moment, because I'm sure people were like, oh my goodness, this is great. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But for my generation, it would kind of be like, okay, like, where's the video at? And let's hit play on this. And then we'll talk tomorrow.
I don't know what that would look like today.
You know what I'm saying? It's just very fascinating to see what that would correlate to in today's, breakdown of what activities were.
Right, you show your TikTok that you made about the pep rally. I don't know. She
starts dancing randomly.
Well, I mean, there's still things like speech competition, and my daughter is working on a Robert Frost poem at school right now. Is
she really?
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. I mean, in the Alton School District in the 4th grade. So there's still some, there's emphasis on literature in that way. But yeah, I don't know if at a pep rally now somebody would get, and it doesn't say what the topic was.
Right.
So it could have been, about Greek mythology for all we know. So
now, was Marquette around when they were?
I don't think it existed this early. But there were also several Catholic schools that existed that don't anymore.
Really? See, I didn't.
Yes.
That's very like
Yeah.
St. Pat's was around.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know when they started either. It's bad because I just know when we have
Yeah,
yearbooks.
no, it makes sense,
Like
though,
I have yearbooks from Marquette starting in I think the late 1950s, but that doesn't mean it didn't exist before that.
That's
It
what's
just means
wild
there's
to
no
me.
yearbook.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just wild to me because you think about it. Not a lot of small towns have this amount of resources and people that are willing to share these things and
Yeah.
find out all this history. And for some, it's just a word of mouth thing. I mean, for being in a digital age, for so many towns, their history is kind of forgotten or not as accurate because of those things.
Yeah, especially if it hasn't been preserved.
Yeah.
In like if you have a whole bunch of newspapers, but you haven't had the funding to microfilm them and then digitize them, it's a whole lot harder to find anything. Where I can just type in the date I want to look for, and then stuff pops
You got
up.
a little little ruler and you're flipping the page, just hoping you aren't breaking it. I mean, honestly, it just shows you how important this stuff is.
Yeah.
So I love the solo that he gave. Oh, So Me. That's a great song. And
You know that song?
Oh yeah, it's a big Italian song.
Oh, cool. Would you like to sing it
No,
for
I
us?
would not. You can listen to the American version. It's Now or Never by Elvis. That's
Okay, perfect.
so on the 26th of September,
Yes.
which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh man, we were just right in between, weren't we?
Well, it was published on the 19th, so it was exactly the right day when it was on the website.
That is, see, that makes, no, I'm talking about for now though, because this is the 25th and on the 26th,
Well, right. So yeah, tomorrow will be the anniversary of
the first pep meeting.
the first pep meeting. Yes. And so part of that was the band held a contest with the students to see how much it could drown out their singing. So I guess they just played as loudly as they
Oh
could.
my God.
And the students sang as loudly as they could. And then they tried to see who could be louder.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
So they performed a new song.
Yes.
Football Heroes.
Yes.
And this was actually made by an Alton High student.
Yeah. Yeah. Pauline Bugg, who I also put the little excerpt from the yearbook on there. And her little poem says, "Happy as a lark, busy as a bee, best pal you can ever have. Try it, you'll agree." And I'm very confident they put the part about bee because her last name is Bug. And I'm sure that by the end of her high school, she was tired of people just making up insect poems about her
She
name.
didn't look very happy in her yearbook picture. I think that the poem does not equate the picture. I don't know if anyone's related to her, but my takeaway.
You have to, she's a serious songstress. You have to. Lyricist.
I love it. You're right. She's in her medium right now. So this is what I think's wild. This is where my mind just doesn't think. The pep rally was held in preparation for the first game of the season against Maplewood High School at Maplewood, Missouri. Mm-hmm. How did people travel that far?
See, well, probably on those cinder roads we've been talking about.
But I mean, like, did they take a bunch of cars?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
They could. I want to say they could have taken a train or streetcar, but I don't know what the.
Yeah, like that's what
What
my
the
thought
routes
was.
would
Would
have
it have been a
been.
streetcar? But that's something I would never even think about because Maplewood's not 20 minutes away.
No, and I actually. You might have seen me frantically looking for something on my phone
Yeah, you
before
were.
we came in here. Yeah. But what I was looking for was the list. It was 10 games scheduled for the football team. And so I wanted to be able to tell you what all the games were. So the first one was Maplewood, Missouri. The next one was Greenfield, Illinois. That one was held here. I talk about that a little bit in the article. But then Granite City, Edwardsville, Belleville, Rood House, Collinsville, Webster Groves, Jacksonville, and then the annual Thanksgiving game against Western Military Academy.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it also wasn't the sort of, some of them, you'd be like, okay, yeah, they would
they
still
fall in
play
line.
them. But yeah, it was like they would challenge each other to games. So
Really?
it wasn't necessarily this set, like, here is your schedule handed down from, I don't know, the athletic
Director. And IHSA and all that.
yeah, all those organizations. It was literally that it was either the Maplewood or Greenfield team like challenged them.
I challenge you to a game, you see? You know? Oh, my God.
They got on their radios and said it in their old timey voice.
That's, but I mean, honestly, like I am very curious on how they got to games that far because Roothouse is that's a haul from Alton.
Yeah, and I don't think there'd be a streetcar.
I don't think so.
Roothouse.
So would you take like a horse and buggy if you don't? Because your car ain't gonna make it on those roads in Roothouse, would they?
Maybe. I don't know what the roads.
Gosh, we need to know this. It's not. We gotta go back in time. That's it. That is it.
I know, like, I never would have said that if I had the chance to go back in time, it would have been to 1924 Alton, but now
It is. I gotta know. I mean, it's just like what I think. It seems like there was a lot more. Maybe I'm wrong. It just seems from like the writing and even some of the wording and all that there like the students had a lot more like school pride. I'm sure we have it now. Like my class was kind of half and half,
Yeah.
but like they really like seem to really like live for the pep rally.
I think they really enjoyed the pep rally, but also there wasn't a lot else
To do.
going
Yeah,
on.
that's a good point.
So-
Actually, that's a great point.
Yes.
Go to the pep rally or read.
Well, in the pep rally, actually, I don't know what time the pep rally was, but that first concert they had was during assembly period, so they all had to be there anyway.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know if the pep rally was after school or before school or during school or what.
Huh. So the band's uniform.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Why don't you like it?
Why are they wearing blue?
Oh, well, maybe it just looked really good.
Can't happen. Red and white, red and gray. White trousers or skirts, blue coats, and a red and gray cap. That's cool, though. I mean, what? Now, what? Do you have a picture of the uniform?
You know what? I should have gone to the 1925 yearbook to see if they had the pictures yet.
Yep.
So maybe we probably do at some point. I don't know if we have that very, very first one, but I'm very confident that we do have pictures of uniforms. I actually have some from the 1970s where the band was getting new uniforms. And so there are a bunch of pictures of their new uniforms in our Illinois Digital Archives collection. So yeah, we've got the whole, I don't want to say the whole history of Alton Band, but we have a lot of photographs and articles and other things about the band over the years.
Why do people look so much older in 1924?
Right?
I'm like,
I
look, I'm
know.
online now. Like, look at this, Sarah. I just clicked on your link here. Here's just some of this. We're just going to take a quick glance, okay? This guy is 40.
Okay. So it's not just the 20s either. Like, so Lauren, our cataloger, one of her very favorite things to do is look through the yearbooks when she's cataloging them. And sometimes I'll send her pictures from old yearbooks when I'm going through things. And it's not just the 20s. Like,
Really?
there have been hairstyles in the past where you would have sworn that everybody was just like a middle-aged secretary with the hairstyles they've got going on. So yeah, they do look older, but also part of that is just the way that their hair was styled, the way that they were dressed.
What was her
all
name,
that.
Helen? What was her last name? Was it Bug? Who was Bug?
Oh, Pauline Bug, Helen Hammer.
So guess what I just stumbled upon?
What?
Look at this. Her brother Harold, potentially.
Oh, yeah. Bugs was his nickname. I'm not surprised. And one fun fact, these are actually their junior year photos because both Helen and Pauline were actually graduating the next year. So I found their senior year photos in the 1925 yearbook, but they were kind of like Bugs's where it just said what they participated in. And I thought the poems were a little bit more fun.
Every day in every way, he is getting brighter and brighter. That's not a very good poem. I don't know if I'd want that for me.
Well, maybe brighter, they didn't mean smarter. They meant just like he's coming into himself and being a person we like.
I like your thoughts there. I'm
I do
always
wanna
so
figure out who
negative.
wrote these.
I'm always so negative. A man who blushes is not quite a brute.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's so much like slang and like
don't even know what
weird
half this
context.
means. Yeah.
Right, that's the thing. Like,
That's what I find so fascinating because for all the people like that are older out there that go, I have no idea what half these kids are saying. In 1924, great grandma was saying the same stuff just in a different way.
yes, it's everything always repeats.
It does.
And then the older generation is like, I can't believe young people today. And then they, they were doing the same, not the same things, but their own version of that when they were young.
Like
So-
I could go through this yearbook just for the quotes.
Oh, it's fun. And there have been clubs that formed that we never figured out what they were for. There was one in the 1940s. A patron was asking about this club. I don't even remember what it was now. And we couldn't find anything ever about it. And it only lasted for 2 years. And I don't know what it was about. That's a digression. But yeah, there's all kinds of interesting stuff in the yearbooks.
Like fair words never hurt the tongue. What does that even mean? You know, he says 1,000 pleasant things, but never says adieu. You know?
Okay, I don't understand that part.
This is my favorite one.
Go.
This is my favorite one. I am all the daughters of my father's house.
Now I want to like look up if she had siblings or not.
Right. Was it because she's his only daughter?
Right. Or it was like a pointed sort of barb at her sisters that she actually had. Who knows?
How forcible are right words? Think about that one 4 times.
I will ponder that all day.
So how many events did the band have their first year?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. They had these two at the end of September. And then I did see an article about them performing for like the school board. They were out in the community. They did a lot of things both in the school and outside of the school, like in support of the football team, in support of sports, but also were their own force to be reckoned with on their own. And
I'll be darned.
yeah, I mean, I kind of think that's
really cool.
Still, yeah, like the Alton High Band and the music program does support other things, but it is also its own entity that is really impressive.
Well, honestly, Alton High, you're right, music and arts, they're really doing some good stuff at. I mean, they got some good things. You know, Christy does a good job touring. I'm really a fan of her. She does the theater and all that for Alton High School. Wonderful.
Yeah, and Laurie Plummer. We were just at the Nature Institute for the...
Oh, how was In Harmony with Nature?
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Good turnout?
Yes, we've gone... This is the 4th year we've gone. I think that's every year. But I'm just always so impressed with that. And it's such a fun event for kids because then they can see, a little bit older kids playing instruments. You're outside. So, yeah.
It always just pisses me off because I can't play an instrument to save my life. And I get jealous really quickly. So I'm like, why can't that be me?
Maybe you just need...
The only talent I have is talking. That ain't a good talent. That ain't a good talent. I could do a lot more with a guitar, Lacy, is what I'm getting at here. And
just bring it on the show and start practicing.
Oh my God, they would shoot me the moment I walk out of this door. It would be on sight. But with that being said, what'd you write about this next one?
I wrote about a runaway train in downtown Alton. No one got hurt, so no one needs to worry.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you disappointed?
I was hoping for some action, No.
Enough bad things happened.
Did you see that? Before I let you go, I was going to ask you about this for like a month and a half, and I'm now thinking about it. There was a photo that was posted of like, and this isn't 100 years ago, but like Alton in the 70s or maybe late 60s, early 70s, maybe even early 80s. But it was a PV mill, like when it was still PV, and there was a train, like an actual like Metrolink train going through Alton, and apparently everyone thought it was fake, but it was real because I guess they had to reroute the train for a second and they had to move it around somewhere. You have to look into it.
It was like a St. Louis Metrolink train.
It looked like it was a train. It was definitely a passenger train.
I don't know.
I'll just send you that picture. It's very, it's like really, because anyone like looking at it going, there's no way because we never had, all these trains. We never had a bunch of train traffic or whatever. And they were like, no, they rerouted it one day for something that happened, and it was a great shot. I'll send it to you. It's a really cool one. I don't know. Sorry, I was just ranting because I haven't said that in 3 months. I've been thinking about it for weeks. I'm like, when I see Lacy next time, I got to ask her about it.
Well, there's so much random stuff. Yesterday, I found a picture of a mastodon tooth, just somebody holding a mastodon tooth in the 40s. And so I went to the Telegraph and found when they found the mastodon tooth, and there was a whole article about it.
Where'd they find it?
I don't remember.
That's going to be in Lacy's new series, Alton 80 years ago today.
It's just whatever I want at this point.
Lacy, thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, man, you got to get it back. It's 10:45.
That's all right. We open at noon on Wednesdays, so I can stay all morning.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new, too. We'll take a quick break at 10:44. We'll come back with more right after this on Riverbender and Roku.